Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Nasdaq futures are hovering around buy zone. You can see this green line, and you can see came very close to the buy zone and just staying there. And it's just all futures, even S&P 500, were touching the buy zone throughout the day yesterday. Dow Jones was a bit stronger. Russell 2000 was also touching buy zone, and Bitcoin after Trump announced like a sign this crypto reserve had a crash, like a mini crash, and now recovered fully. So interesting moves by the market. Now, if you want to look at a long-term picture, let's look at weekly chart because there's a lot of volatility happening right now. And if I look at Nasdaq, I want to show you something. I go to Nasdaq seasonality. You can see this is an average of last probably 20 years. You can see 20 years range, and you can see from Feb top to the March mid, we have a big sell-off. Okay, so and that's where we are looking for a bottom, like mid-March. So we are right now 7th of March. So we're looking for probably either today or sometime next week if you follow this seasonality early. I think it's a bit earlier than March. Mid-March would be here, like a bit earlier than March. So today could be an ideal day, or Monday would be an ideal day for a bottom. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And we are looking for a rally from now until April, like a straight rally from now, like 1.5, 2 months straight rally up. So you don't need to do anything. So looking for a new all-time high. So if this thing works out, okay, so I just wanted to share that, and that is quite possible. That's exactly what we are getting. We had a top in mid-Feb, okay, you can see, and then we got it down, like since then just selling off. And Nasdaq came down from the top to the bottom of around almost 10% down. That's a huge move. And if I go to weekly, I want to show you this as well. We are sitting right on this red and yellow line, which is 50 moving average. Okay, usually it's a very lifetime opportunity to buy before a next massive rally. So weekly chart is sitting right on support. If I look on S&P 500, same thing, very close to this support here. Now, if I go to daily chart, you can see S&P 500. We're looking for a rally, and that rally could come back down sometime next week, but it could be a couple of days early too. So we could definitely get a rally from now, fill this gap, yellow gap, and then come back down, and then we can rally again. And where I got this yellow gap, it's from yesterday's. You can see yesterday had a gap down. They're gonna probably try to fill that gap. Nasdaq also had a gap down, so they're gonna probably try to fill that gap. So from where we closed yesterday to that gap is about 2.57%, and that could happen. They could fill this gap today, okay? And one of the reasons is Broadcom. They had a nice earnings, and that's boosting chip sector. You can see 10% pump already, and at one point it was 16, 17%. So this is going to help. This is going to help entire chip sector, and we could expect a massive explosive rally today on entire beaten up stock. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that's what I'm expecting for. And in terms of Dow Jones and IWM, same thing. You can expect rally if Nasdaq starts pumping from here. Bitcoin very close to 200 moving average. Every time it comes near 200, just people just buying it. So it's probably forming a bottom here right now. And if this thing holds, and the key crucial resistance is here, and if they break this resistance, then we're going to have an explosive rally. All right. So that's what we're looking for. Ethereum is going to follow Bitcoin. So I'm not going to go into much detail. One thing to note, this gap is still not filled. On NASDAQ, they filled this gap, I think, a day before yesterday, election gap. And then there is still a couple of minor gaps. So yeah, so if you want to be a bit careful, they could come even a bit lower to fill some of these gaps. So just keep that in mind. Else, I think most likely they're going to fill the top gap first today. So we'll see how this all works out. In terms of Toronto Stock Exchange, also had a bearish move near 200 moving average. Hang Seng Index, massive rally. Look to buy the dip. Nothing looking wrong here. Bond market bouncing after touching this 20 moving average support. And TLT, you can see, came to fill this gap fully yesterday. I was saying this gap will fill, and now it's look at support, and it could bounce from here. Oil is finally bouncing from support. CNQ, I wanted to show you, I have a huge position on CNQ, And you can see my nice rally, almost 2% on CNQ, where all the stocks were dumping. CNQ had an earnings and it beat on earnings. You can see earnings is a beat and revenue is slightly lower, but that's okay. And probably they're going to go and fill this gap around 30.73. So from here, probably they're going to go from the close to fill that gap of about 10% rally is possible here. So keep that in mind. Let's keep moving. Natural gas by the dip, and I think we could go lower, a little bit more lower by next week, and then that will be it. And then it's going to be massive rally. Gold is recovering. If it comes back to fill this gap, that will be an ideal area to buy. Silver is a little weaker. Copper by the dip. Sugar is in a nice support area. I think sugar is in a very good area to buy. I think this could be a trade of the year. Wheat is also sitting on this support trend line. White line came there bouncing now. Corn also bouncing from this blue line, 200 moving average. Dollar breaking down this next support level. So this is not good news. So if dollar cannot recover, that's not good. We'll see if dollar can hold and start bouncing, else it's going to drag probably. Uh, if it goes down, then I think Bitcoin and gold can go up. In terms of stocks, we had sell-off across the board. Apple was holding it nicely. Apple could also start to rally. I think you can look at any stock like massive sell-off on Netflix. Not sure why. This earnings gap is fully filled. Amazon sitting on 200. Like all the stocks are due for a massive bounce, guys. You can just pick anything you want. Okay, so AVGO I think probably gonna help investors or stock market to get some green. But in that everything is red. You can see Tesla probably gonna fill this gap fully around 254 today, and then probably will try to rally. And if that doesn't hold, and there's another big gap around 214, they could try to fill that gap. And if that doesn't hold, then there's a gap around 142. So many gaps possible for Tesla. So keep that in mind. Celestica had a massive dump. You can see here. Now coming back to 200 moving average here after massive. I think this was a trap. What else? I don't see anything else interesting, guys. If you have anything you want me to review, put a comment with the stock number or symbol. I will take a look. MicroStrategy in front of some resistance, but all depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks, this is also going to break out. But it's a classic blow off top, and now probably came to fill this couple of gaps, and probably good for a rally now. We'll see. Okay, guys, and then Wix did not fill this gap at 27, so we'll see what happens. But if that doesn't fill that, it could come all the way down to crush. Okay, all the way down to crush this. I don't see, there is one gap here as well, so they can bring it down to fill that gap at 22, and then VIX can start to crush. You gotta buy when VIX is above 20, and it's been above 20 since here, since this day, actually here, VIX. So since late Feb, okay? So these are good opportunities to buy. Okay, guys, hit the like button on your way out, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.